The 5 new flea and tick preventives for dogs. This is something that every dog owner needs to know.
Are you looking to learn more about natural pet health and wellness? You've come to the right place. Click the link to subscribe to Veterinary Secrets.
These are the 5 new flea and tick preventives for dogs. Simparica, Bravecto, Nexgard, Comfortis, and Credelio. They're now responsible for a marked increase in the number of serious adverse events, a large increase in the number of deaths as a result of these drugs, and so many people are just not aware of this. Simparica, Bravecto, Nexgard, and Credelio, they fall into a class of drugs called isoxazolones. Comfortis, the name of the drug is actually spinosad. It's a little bit different. The class of that drug is called spinosins. In all cases, they're working by targeting the nervous systems of the fleas, ticks. The way the isoxazolones are working, they're blocking chloride channels within the nerve cells. It causes uncontrolled stimulation. Ultimately, that leads to paralysis and death. Hopefully, it's supposed to be just being the parasite, be it the tick or be it the flea. Comfortis, spinosad is also targeting the nerve system of the flea and the tick, but here it's specifically working by overstimulating the nerve system. All the drugs, they're supposed to just be targeting the parasites, the fleas, the ticks, resulting in paralysis and death of these critters. Unfortunately, and it appears to be in more and more cases, these meds, they don't just affect and kill the parasites, they're also affecting our dogs. How are they doing this? I'll say Bravecto, pretty darn convenient. You just have to give a pill once every 3 months. You're killing most fleas, most ticks. Like, pretty darn convenient. But what that pill is doing, your dog ingests it, it gets into his bloodstream, and then it can cross the blood-brain barrier. So it's getting into the brain and nervous system. And that's where we're seeing all these serious secondary side effects. So neurologic signs, seizures, ataxia, weakness. Some cases, behavioral changes. These dogs can appear more aggressive or just not the same dog that they once were. Lethargy, weakness, loss of appetite, and unfortunately in some cases, even death. And it seems that some of the dogs, especially those with the MDR1 gene mutation, these are dogs that can't tolerate ivermectin. So think about the collies, the collie crosses, the Australian shepherds, the whippets. Those breeds, they may be at a higher risk. But what are the total reactions? What are the number of deaths? Well, first of all, it's really difficult to actually accumulate and get accurate stats. Right? For instance, you go into the US, I can start doing searching. It's really difficult to get an updated adverse event report. Likewise, in the EU, where these are widely sold, it's also difficult to get an updated adverse event report. So definitely I need to give credit to Dr. Karen Becker. She did a post on Instagram, and they posted on some of these flea and tick medications and associated them with the number of reported adverse events in the US and the EU, along with number of reported deaths. And the numbers surprisingly high and really concerning if you ask me. Simparica, over 140,000 adverse events, i.e. side effects, over 6,700 deaths. Bravecto, over 43,000 adverse side effects or events, 1,500 deaths. Nexgard, 140,600 side effects, over 6,000 plus deaths. Comfortis, 162,354 reported adverse events or side effects, 4,800 deaths. Credelio, 3,300 reported adverse events, side effects, 95 deaths. And believe it or not, these side effects, they're likely significantly underreported. Experts think that when we're looking at any drug adverse event, i.e. side effects, less than 10% are actually reported. So imagine by, adding another 90% onto those numbers, the potential number of serious side effects and number of deaths is huge. Some of the reasons why some of these drug reactions are underreported, sometimes it's not obvious. Maybe there's pets that are on multiple medications at once. Other times, maybe there's been a delay, right, where they can't actually attribute the death of the dog to the flea and tick medication. Sometimes people they don't want to report, right, for differing reasons. But regardless, if you're looking at numbers like that, exceeding 140,000 serious side effects, over 6,000 deaths, like some big warning bells need to go off. Then what about links to other serious disease, especially cancer? Unfortunately, there really are limited long-term studies, but many researchers, veterinary professionals, they're increasingly becoming concerned about the effects of giving these drugs month after month after month. like ongoing long term, and ultimately what it's then doing to your dog. Affecting the immune system, chronic immune stimulation, affecting the nervous system, potentially causing neurologic inflammation, especially when these drugs are crossing the blood-brain barrier, and how that is ultimately linked to affecting the immune system, the development of cancer. Some of just anecdotal, some really early evidence is pointing to an increased risk of a specific type of cancer, lymphoma in our dogs. And those are on this kind of long-term isoxazolones, i.e. Bravecto. And you gotta wonder, when we're starting to see cancer, and it seems in some dogs in really young ages, like what is going on? Even like 15 years ago, we didn't have this whole array and fleet of tick preventives, something that you could give once every 3 months and prevent all these critters. Now we do. It just seems hard to believe that we think we can give these drugs year after year after year and not see any serious secondary consequences. Ultimately, you need to weigh the risks of giving these drugs long term, and the risks associated with fleas and ticks. Is it worth it? Is it worth giving this to your dog long term, potentially compromising their health versus preventing that flea or that tick? And if you happen to be in an area where fleas are seasonal, there's not yet a massive tick problem, then you really need to think about exploring some of the alternative options. For me, where I live, do we have ticks? Yes. But are they in certain areas, south facing, where there's a lot of sun? That's where there's more likely located. If I take my dog up hiking there, which I recently did, I'm going to thoroughly check her after. Fleas, yes, they're a nuisance. Are they a serious health concern for Tula? No, they're not. But if I happen to live in an area where there is a huge flea problem, parts of the whole east coast of the US, for instance, even now up into eastern Canada, where it's hot and humid, and we're just seeing an increased number of ticks, then I'd start to be exploring in a serious ways some of the proven natural alternatives. I'm going to share 3 of those with you now. So number 1, controlling ticks, especially around your house, around your yard. There's a very effective natural product. It's even been studied and approved, even by the EPA. Garlic, shown to be great to help repel ticks, so you don't have such a big tick burden in and around your house, because that's when your dog is going to pick up most of those ticks. He goes out into the backyard for a walk, walks through the bushes, comes in with ticks. So what is it based on? It's based on concentrated garlic. It is a wonderful tick repellent. Ticks hate garlic. Garlic is potentially toxic to ticks, especially when it's highly concentrated. It's called garlic barrier. It comes in a spray, so you can just spray it around your house, around your yard, and it does a great job of markedly decreasing the tick populations. So you want a nice holistic way just to start by decreasing the number that your dog are going to potentially come in contact with. Get yourself some garlic barrier. I just sprayed garlic in here, and now it tastes garlicky. I want to show you a quick and easy homemade spray with 2 oils that have documented anti-tick, anti-flea repellent properties. In fact, they've both been quite well studied. Number 1, turmeric essential oil, especially for ticks. It's been shown to repel virtually most of the ticks when it's in appropriate concentrations, especially in a spray. It's a big thing for people, right? We don't want to get serious tick-borne diseases, i.e. Lyme disease, anaplasma, etc., etc., etc. Turmeric oil, great way to do it. The second essential oil, neem oil, coming from the neem tree in Asia. It is a wonderful anti-tick, anti-flea repellent. The third part of our spray, it's going to include coconut oil. This is liquid coconut oil. It does a great job of, number 1, just keeping the coat nice and soft and shiny, because you're using it as a spray base. Number 2, though, it also has specific repellent properties. There's ingredients within coconut oil that are great for insect repellent. Then for a base, we're going to be using witch hazel with aloe. This is a great skin spray in particular. Then we've got the soothing properties of the aloe. These all in combination can be really effective at helping repel these critters. 5 tablespoons or 75 mils. The coconut oil, 30 mils or 2 tablespoons. Next, we're going to add in the turmeric oil. We're going to add in the neem oil. And we're adding in just 1 mil of each, so that gives it a 1% solution. Right here, we have about 100 mils of fluid. Anytime there's less than 2% essential oils in any type of spray for our dogs, then it's considered safe. So we're making a safe and effective flea and tick spray. 1 mil or 1 dropper full of the neem oil, then 20 drops or 1 mil of the turmeric essential oil. There's 20. Mix this well, pour it into a spray bottle. You can safely spray this on your dog twice a week, then using a flea comb to evenly spread it through. Then number 3, an ultrasonic flea and tick repellent. This attaches to your dog's collar. So this little ultrasonic device is called the Tickless Mini. It's made in the EU. Number 1, you need to charge it 2 to 4 hours. It's got a little USB plug there. And then it attaches here to your collar. 2 hooks on either side, and I've just attached it via toolless collar like that. So my next step is trying this out. So I'm actually going to be sending this to relatives in Nova Scotia where they have a huge tick problem. Their dog goes outside, comes in with ticks. So we're going to do a little test run on it. It's got some great reviews. So if it does work, I'd be ecstatic. An awesome holistic way to potentially prevent fleas and ticks, and especially ticks, which are such a concern with all the diseases they're spreading. So there it is. There's like 3 options, right? You can spray stuff in your backyard. You can make your own flea and tick spray. And if something like this works, like this little ultrasonic device that sends out ultrasonic waves, repels ticks, that would be fabulous. So should you be cautious of using flea and tick meds like this? In my opinion, yes, you should. And when you're starting to see numbers of side effects, 100,000 plus, over 5,000 deaths, there's some big problems that, in my opinion, are probably underreported. Start looking at some of the alternatives. Just be really thoughtful and cautious of using them. And, if I come up with stuff that works even better, I'll definitely let you know. So thanks again for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets of the new flea and tick medications for our dogs and some of the big serious side effects you need to be aware of. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book.